Hey folks, welcome again to the Renegade Butcher Show. Kind of an odd time, completely unannounced episode, but I wanted to get some content out today. And I know I am starting right about the same time as the Wednesday Live with John over at SOE and Nicole, and I know they're having Joe Riles on, so I'm not going to keep everybody for too long. I doubt anybody's even going to tune in and see this live, but I wanted to throw this out there and get it going in case anybody had a chance to catch up on it. And put some stuff out there before I end up actually broadcasting again today. And then again after that. It's going to be a big broadcast day. So since I'm here, I grabbed some internet and I am set up to try to get some stuff rolling today. I figured may as well actually produce some content for my own show while I'm at it. If any of you guys had a chance to tune in the other day, I had Jackie Kerouac on the last episode from Road to Autonomy magazine. Great lady's got a bunch going on. You can check her out. I've got all the links in the show notes for that show. Real cool discussion on the scary words like anarchy and autonomy and things like that, but why they're so scary, what they really mean, and why it's kind of an important thing. So yeah, I think that was a really cool episode. We chatted for almost an hour and a half. So be a real good one to catch up back on if you get a chance. Anyways, my last episode, I kind of talked a little bit about something sort of like what I wanted to throw out there. I was going to vibe on. I wanted to announce too to everybody who does listen to the show or does watch it, if you catch this before then, 5 p.m. Central this evening, we are going to go live. Me and will be my co-host, Brian, will be going live with a new podcast, the Lightning for Liberty podcast. So as a lot of you might know, I've kind of really dove into the whole Bitcoin Lightning thing, played with that a lot recently, and Brian and I both been really excited about that and some of the stuff it has going on. So we ended up talking about it so much, we started up a Telegram group that took off and grew, and it's been a really good space to kind of learn and experiment and play. So we decided there's enough interest and there's enough questions, enough to talk about, and there's so much growth in it that we'll go ahead and start a podcast about it as well. We both enjoy doing it. We both enjoy talking about it. So let's throw it out there and see if we can answer some questions for people who are just new to it or don't understand it, because it's all new growing technology. Not that we're experts by any means, but we've kind of dove into that space enough that I feel like we can maybe kind of translate some of the complicated topics back to other folks. So catch that if you can. You go to lightning4liberty.com, lightning number 4 liberty.com, and that'll take you to the Telegram group. I should have posted it in the show notes for this episode, but I don't think I did a link to the YouTube channel, but you can find it on YouTube at Lightning for Liberty. You can also find it on Facebook, on Twitch. I pretty much got it out everywhere I can throw stuff up right now. Still need to work on an Odyssey account, but that takes a little bit. So we'll figure it all out. We'll get it all set up and we'll get that all going. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about that forever because we are going to have that episode tonight and get that content out there for you. Right after that, we're going to do our normal on Wednesday evenings, and all the podcasters kind of hang out and chill and, talk shop on the UTG after party. So if you just really like seeing our faces and listening to us that much, tune on in. It's usually a riot, though. It's pretty fun. We all kind of cut loose. It is generally not fit for kids. It's like hanging out at the bar with a bunch of podcasters. So if that's your thing, tune on in and check it out. We do it just to hang out and bullshit with each other. It's like you're jumping into a video conference with a bunch of friends. So half the time we got somebody that watches, and most of the time we probably don't. People will listen in afterwards and probably think we're all insane, and they're probably right. So that's going to be most of the shopkeeping there. As far as me and what I've had going on lately, I've been working real hard on trying to get everything together for the upcoming deer season. That's just around the corner. I mean, the very beginning of it, bow season, but usually people start getting that hunting bug and get a couple of hogs and things like that. I've got some other odds and ends and consultation gigs I'm trying to wrap up on top of all my content stuff, trying to produce that content, get it out there, because I know when I get really busy, it's going to be hard to keep up with that. So tying up all those loose ends. Just got my pricing updated the other day. I had to come up on things a little bit for deer season because, of course, the inputs all cost more. Everything's costing more now. So did the best I could. Also looked at competition, tried to figure out where I'm at there. I don't mind being a little bit above competition on price on some things because I do it small scale. It's just me. Sometimes I may have one other guy or something with me. And it's individual animals. I'm not doing a couple thousand in a season with the whole crew behind me and everything like that. So it may cost a little bit more, but the quality's a lot better because you're not dealing with your stuff being mixed with everyone else's. You're not dealing with a big batch. It's a little bit easier to kind of dial it in and really babysit a batch when you're dealing with small stuff too, especially when it comes to sausage. I feel like the quality control is just a lot higher because I've got eyes and hands on everything directly. So I'm not going to say I am the best, but put it this way, around here, nobody does sausage better than I do. So that's not me bragging. You could ask any of the probably 100 customers that have used me the last couple of years, and they keep coming back and I keep getting more. So I'm to the point where I need to hire help, need to get somebody in there, but finding good help is tricky. And you have to put the effort into training them and teaching them. And sometimes that's more work than even doing it yourself. So we'll see. That's been a ton with me. That's what's really kind of kept me busy. Well, hey, if anybody who's listening here is around Southeast Texas and you're looking for somebody to get your deer processed by, or wild hog, or any wild game this season, look me up, give me a call. We're a little bit south of the Huntsville area where we'll be working. And even if you do your own, which if you're watching this podcast, you're probably interested in, and I'm hoping to be able to use deer season to, kind of video some good content on ways that you can do that. I'm sorry about shaking the computer there, folks. On ways that you can do that yourself. I'd like to use that more as a teaching tool as well. But say you do that and you don't want to go and do the sausage side, you're not confident with it, you just want to have something made up, you just want to try what I make, give me a call. If you've got some boneless meat or whatnot, I can make you a batch of sausage and get that back to you. We can work it out if you're anywhere close by regionally, and we can figure out pricing and everything like that. So just kind of getting all that together. Got my price list updated, got my flyers printed. I need to go around possibly today between podcasts if I get a chance, if not tomorrow or Friday, to some of the local places, sporting goods stores and stuff like that are around. And usually I hand out flyers and let them hang it up because that's where the hunters go. That's where people are picking up ammo and picking up hunting supplies and deer corn and things like that out here. And I want to have my information hanging up there so they know who to call when they've got one. So not that I have to advertise too much. I usually have enough repeat customers that I'm as busy as I want to be. But things happen, people move on. You got to remind them you're around. So got to get that little bit of marketing in. But yeah, that's where I'm at there. So hopefully I'll be getting some good deer breakdown video or some skinning videos or something together for y'all. And if that's the case, I'll try to get those put up. When it comes to actual deer season and I get real busy, I may not have the opportunity to sit down quite often and do live videos, especially with keeping up with an extra upcoming podcast and all that fun stuff. So I very well may do some pre-recorded content that I can stick up, go ahead and upload it when I get a chance at night or whatnot, schedule it to go ahead and broadcast at a time that y'all might be expecting it. So we may be doing less live episodes there coming up through deer season, and just kind of see from there. I don't know. Just depends on how things go. Anyways, I wanted to talk a little bit today, while I'm thinking about it, on the whole concept of value, but specifically this idea of value for value, because that relates so much. It's a term that's thrown around a lot in the crypto space and the content creation space. And it's usually in reference to people, sending tips, or if you do watch this, hopefully if you do listen to just the audio side of this, you're listening to it on fountain.fm. And that is an excellent podcast player. It's new, it's beta, it's still got some bugs, they're working on it, but it's really cool. It's built out so that it's on this podcast 2.0 platform, and still you can get all the podcasts you're used to listening to. But if a creator has an account set up and has their information set, you can actually directly stream Satoshis, which are small portions of Bitcoin, but that's the currency they're using. But you can basically send a certain amount of currency per minute while you're listening, or you can send boosts, basically send tips directly to the creator. Skips all the middleman. Most of us, we will have it set to where some of that goes back to the platform to help support it, but that's optional. That's voluntary. That's the thing. We have the choice, instead of having a middleman situation type there, where, like, say YouTube, if you have enough followers, which I don't, to monetize, and someone sends me a super chat, they take like 30%. So, and I get it, it's their platform and everything. But we're reaching a point now where we've got those options. That's why I spent so much time on the ittybitty.tips website and everything. You can find that link down here in the show notes too. If you decided that you want to support me and what I'm doing, putting this stuff out there, you can click that link, boom, set it up. If you have any kind of Lightning wallet, even if you have Cash App, there you go. You can directly send me whatever you feel. If you feel this content was valuable, you can send me value. That's the idea, and that's how the term is used. But it goes beyond that so much. This concept really started to hit home with me a little bit when I was playing around with some of the Lightning tip bots on Telegram. There's a lot that go on in Telegram chats. If you're not in them, check them out. They're pretty good. Great group of people. What we found, though, is when we added that tip bot, because it's a bot, it's like an account that's just run by an AI. It's not some crazy thing or whatnot, but it's programmed to do certain things. You can add it like a user to a channel, and you'd make that as like one of the admins of the channel, so it has the access to do what it needs to. When you do that in Telegram, suddenly it lets everybody that's there have access to all these different commands. And anybody who signed up, just all they got to do is go chat with the bot, and suddenly, boom, you have an account. So say you have an account, you throw a little bit of Bitcoin in that account. Okay, now you can just freely send those tips back and forth to other people. Most people who have it have never even put anything in it. They said something cool, gave something valuable, gave some advice, and somebody else turned around and went, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that. Here's 500 sats. What do you call them? Sats or Satoshis. Micro, like 100 millionth of a Bitcoin or some shit. It's 100 million? I think so. Yeah. Anyway, it's a very small fraction of a Bitcoin. It's not. I mean, usually we're tossing around pennies here most of the time. But it's that token of appreciation of, hey, man, thank you for taking the time to provide something valuable that answered my question or really helped me out, gave me an idea, was informative and valuable. So I returned value. Once we enabled those things in some of these groups that have been kind of going on for a while already, you've got a good group of people started using it. Like once they saw someone else use it and they realized how to, or someone tipped them, it was like, people suddenly become really willing to return the favor. They pass it on. It's the whole pay it forward mentality. And by one person doing that and being a bit generous, suddenly everyone else had bred that generosity in everybody else. So seeing that in action, it's kind of what inspired me to do the tips thing a little bit more. I'm like, this needs to exist on other platforms. It'd be easy to do, because it's been such community building. It's the old golden rule in action, do unto others. That's exactly the concept of the value for value. It's like karma, but real time, it's good karma. So I see a lot of this stuff go on in these groups, and this isn't just related to groups. This is related to all kinds of things. This is related to social media, real life, and everything. But I see so much of when people are doers, when people are out there building, when they're working with that community, they're growing that community. They're trying to. I just reading this morning over there in Jackie's chat, the RTA chat, that's talking about going out and helping the homeless or houseless or whatever you want to call them, people who are down on their luck and need help, and what they have to contend with, and how much it means to people like that, or any of us, when we're having a hard time and somebody steps in and helps us out. Well, it's the same concept all throughout your life. But we also see a lot of people who are, I want to call them bitchers. They're complaining about something all the time, or somebody else is talking about something and they've always got something negative to say. And it's fine if there's something that, worth talking about. Hey, warning, there's some shit going on. You should know about this. Maybe don't fall for that scam. That's important. And I think that's value in and of itself. But it's not always valuable, is it? It seems to a lot of times be the same people who are doing that. You'll notice it in your life. They're a negative person. They're a negative influence. They always drag everything down. They always drag everybody around them down. They're not doing anything or contributing anything or growing. They're not adding to the community. They're there and they're squashing down ideas, or they're throwing out reasons why you shouldn't be doing. They're holding back the doers. That it's easy to fall into that and listen to them. And we've all done that. We all find ourselves in that position in different phases too. And the more we're around that, the easier it is. If I'm talking to somebody, if I'm chatting with them and they're bitching about something or whatnot, I find myself bitching about shit too. And that's fine. Sometimes you got to get that shit out. But you also have to think, am I doing it in a constructive way? Is what I'm doing providing value for other people? Because while I feel like as a society, we have completely shot down the idea of taking care of yourself. It's been, being selfish is a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. You have to take care of yourself. You do. But by taking care of other people and providing that value for them, it inspires them to provide that value back to you. And that's how we grow community, and that's how we network. We're not going to grow community and network, like Jackie and I were talking on the last episode, actually, quite a bit about that. You don't get anywhere with that community unless you're providing value, unless you're offering something, unless you are giving a good example, unless you are uplifting people, unless you are helping somebody. And by doing that, you're building that social capital so that other people want to jump in and help you and be a part of your community. Because nobody wants to hang out with negative Nancy all the time, do they? I mean, I sure don't. At least I don't feel like I do. Sometimes I end up being that guy. It happens. It does. But that's kind of just what I wanted to touch on today a little bit. Ask yourself, are you providing value? Is what you're putting out worth someone providing value back to you? Or are you taking value from either other people or just from the whole situation you're in? Are you a drain on that? And if so, how can you change that? Ask yourself, how can I provide value to other people in this situation? It doesn't mean you have to go out of your way and pay money to other people or do something terrible. Sit there, wear a hair shirt and roll in the dirt and cry about life and say, that's not providing value to anybody, is it? It's not all necessarily about personal sacrifice. It's that willingness to actually grow and do and help others. I feel like I do things all the time that are providing value to other people. And most of the time it's just doing what I get bitched at by some people about, running my mouth too much. A lot of people talk a lot. I do. Anybody who knows me knows I can't shut up. That's why Brian and I scheduled the Lightning for Liberty podcast that's coming up to be right before the after party, because it forces us to shut up and keep the podcast to the length we want it to be. Since we know we've got another broadcast coming up, we can't run too long. So, and we know we're like that. However, you kind of see two types of people in that space. You get the people who are always talking about everything. They always know a little bit about everything. They've got to have an opinion on everything. I've been guilty of that before, but I try to make it my personal philosophy to, even if I talk a lot, talk about the things I do know. Talk about the things I am confident in, and that I can share my knowledge with someone who can find it valuable. That what I'm sharing with someone is building and growing and teaching, and hopefully in a positive manner. Don't get me wrong, there's times I'm negative. But, it's a balance. You've got to find can you swing the pendulum more one way than the other? That would be ideal. And if you find yourself in that position where you are always constantly negative about things, you'll also find that your view on life, you drag yourself down. So by stepping out of that and kind of, you almost have to force yourself a little bit. You've got to get the ball rolling. It's momentum. But forcing yourself to try to look for the positive, see that silver lining, find that reason for growth, find reasons why people should listen to you and get a positive impact from your words, your actions, your contributions, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be words, but find ways to improve the situation instead of just drag it down. And the more you do that, it gets to be a habit. You start to look for the opportunities. You start to look for the reasons to be positive. You start to look for the places where things can grow and the ways you can improve yourself. You start to go, I like that. I want to do that. You'll find yourself suddenly surrounded by more positive people who are uplifting and bringing you up and building you up instead of dragging you down like the negative people that you attract when you're negative. Think about that. Most people who are negative all the time are around people who are negative all the time. So what's that do to them? Those people, what value are they providing? They're not. It's invaluable. They're taking. It's a suck, a drain. So don't be a drain. Provide value if you want that value back in your life. If you get value from a community, give something back. Be a doer, not a bitcher. So that's what I want to throw out there today. Had that rolling around in my head, been seeing stuff all over the place. And it just, things tie together. You start seeing patterns. There's a lot of it going on right now. People blame all kinds of stuff, state of the world, Mercury's in the Gatorade, so whatever. But at the end of the day, it's all our choice, how we want to live, how we want to be, and what kind of influence we are onto other people. So thanks for taking time to tune in on this. And like I said, hopefully some of you guys catch that replay. I don't blame anybody for not being here live because I just decided to throw it up there with no warning and squeeze it in where I could. So hope y'all are having a great day. Go out there, provide some value. Hey, Gorilla Press, thanks for popping in. Go out there, provide some value to other people, and check us out on the Lightning for Liberty podcast and the after party and all that fun stuff too, if you like what we're saying. And hopefully y'all are going to have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care and be free.